I'm getting high with my 4-5. Cops only suffer from a die. Even as a youngster, causing ruckus on the back of the bus. I was a fool all through high school, kicking up dust. But now I'm labeled as a troublemaker. Who can you blame? Smoking weed help me take away the pain. So I'm hopeless, rolling down the freeway, swerving. Don't worry, I'm about to crash upon the curb. Cause my business bloody, baby. If they tried to understand me, what should I do? I had to feed my fucking family. What else could I do but be a thug? I'm slanging with the homies, fuck hanging with them phonies in the club. Got my mind on danger. Never been a stranger to homicide. My city's full of gangbangers and drive-bys. Why do we die at an early age? He was so young, but still a victim of 12 gauge. My memories of a corpse, mind full of sick thoughts, and I ain't going back to court. So fuck what you thought. I'm drinking Hennessy, running from my enemies. When I live a beat between 23, there's so much pain.
Was in on it. She covered up Joe's obvious mental decline.
Our president is in good shape, in good health, tireless, vibrant, and I have no doubt about the strength of the work that we have done.
But Kamala knew Joe couldn't do the job, so she did it. Look what she got done. A border invasion, runaway inflation, the American dream dead. They created this mess. Kamala owns this failed record. Make America Great Again Inc. is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Welcome, everybody. Happy Monday. It's the beginning of the week. I'm already tired, y'all. Is anybody else tired? I'm already tired. It's just started. One day down, 4 days to go. Hey, everybody. Hey, Jolene. Before we get started, everyone, please like, follow, and share. It's the way we get the message out. We get the truth out, and people know where we're at. Hi, everybody on YouTube. Everybody on X. Good to see you. Glad you're here. Hey, Kimberly. Good to see you. Hadn't seen you in a minute. I hope everyone's well. Hey, Grandma. Hey, Christy. Hey, Island Girl. I like that name. Hey, Miss Jolene. Grandma. Thank you for being here. Hey, Patriotic. Good to see you. Maga Mac. I just keep going on and on. I just like to give my family. I call everybody my family. Give them a shout out. Crazy day, isn't it? Well, I have a guest tonight with us. I'm going to bring him up. This is Nico. Hi, Nico. How are you, honey?
Hey, what's going on, Crazy Country? How's our day so far?
Oh, man. Today was actually pretty good. It was busy. Wasn't too terrible. Sometimes I like it when it gets real busy because then I'm good, it keeps my mind busy, and then the day goes by quicker, and I get off and get home. Get to do this and be with you fine people.
Yes, getting a chance to talk to people that share not just our mindset, but understand the severity and the intensity that our country is experiencing at the last 10 days. It's been really, really overwhelming in some aspects.
Absolutely. It's the attempted assassination on Trump. That floored me. As it did so many other people. And, today was the hearing committee that she came to. And we really didn't get any information out of her, truthfully. But I do have a few clips I'm going to show, and we can talk about it. But I really loved it when she called her out on this shit.
Yes. Okay. Would you say leaking your opening statement to Punchbowl News, Politico's Playbook, and Washington Post several hours before you sent it to this committee as being political? Yes or no?
I have no idea how my statement got out.
Well, that's bullshit. So, Mr. Chairman, I would like to ask unanimous consent to enter into the record articles by Punchbowl News, Political Playbook, Washington Post, all done at 5:24 a.m., 6:12 a.m., 6:34 a.m., a solid 3 to 4 hours before this committee got your statement.
Without objection, so ordered.
Okay. Is the Secret Service fully cooperating with our committee?
Yes.
Okay, you say you're fully cooperating with this committee. On July 15th, this committee sent you a list of demands of information that we wanted. Has the Secret Service provided this committee a complete list of all law enforcement personnel that were there that day? Have you done that? Have you provided a list to the Oversight Committee? Yes or no?
I will have to get back to you on that.
That is a no. Have you provided all audio and video recordings in your possession to this committee, as we asked on July 15th? Yes or no?
I would have to get back to you.
That is a no. You're full of today. You're just being completely dishonest.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Chairman,
I want to.
Come on.
We have to maintain decorum in this committee, no matter how
have you provided
upset we
any
get.
and all memos to this committee that we've asked you on July 15th? Have you provided all memorandums within the Secret Service?
I would have to get back to you on
that. Is a no. You are being dishonest or.
She's so full of shit. I'll say it for her. She's full of shit.
Yes.
And it just gets worse. The other night we were talking about this, of course, and I even said to everyone, I said, look, we're not going to get anything out of this woman. They're trying, I believe, like the one guy said, they're just trying to get answers to the other part of the questions that they need. So now they have these questions that are being asked. They've already got the retort bullshit ready to go. She's going by what May Workus is telling her to say, period. And think about that. Isn't this like the same thing we've been getting for 3.5 years with FB?
So, I was watching it earlier, and the thing that got me was there was a gentleman who was up there. I believe he may have been a Democrat, but he might have been a Republican. I won't say what side of the aisle he was on. However, he brought something to the attention of everyone there, and he provided a visual aid. What he did was he said he went out with his personal rifle, his AR-15, and he went out and he attempted the exact same shot that the gentleman that attempted to assassinate President Trump did. And he says, I am an untrained marksman. I have fired this weapon only once. And now I bring it back out and I take it out to try and use it this time. And I shot, I think he said 10 or 12 rounds. No, he shot 10 and he missed 9. No, he shot 11 and missed 9. No, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. He shot 11 and missed 1. That's what it was. He shot 11 rounds and missed 1. And the one that he missed would have been the same exact shot that young man took that grazed the president's ear. So he had a 94% chance of hitting the target as an untrained operator of a rifle. And we could just say that we are lucky. We are damn lucky that the shooter did not connect, that he was that 1 millimeter off, 1 mil, as we would say in the military, 1 mil in his targeting off from his sights. Because if he would have been 1 mil more to the right, it would have taken his head off.
Well, it's funny that you talk about that. We showed a 3-minute video last night, and I think everyone enjoyed to see it firsthand, and it was quite intense to see it. I don't know if you saw it or not. But I think we might need to show that again so people will get more of a realistic viewpoint of what Trump went through. And to say that this was staged is debunked with this video.
4,000 times slower than normal. Perfect. Well, let's get to it, guys. Let's do it. Now, we don't really care about distance on this one since, the ballistics are going to be negligible. If anything, closer distance should do more damage. So if this just rips right through the ear like it did in real life, then that should definitively prove it. So let's, I just want to make sure we get the most accurate shot possible. Firing.
Did I see a jiggle?
Did you? Oh, I barely clipped the ear. I clipped it right on the side, not on the top. I clipped him, like right there in the middle.
We're gonna have to look for like a vibration. Oh,
Yep, there it was.
It. Oh, you definitely grazed the ear.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Whoa.
Damn.
That was like edge of the bullet.
Yeah. I know. That was, I think we could get closer. Yeah, so I think he actually got hit right up here. Okay. The bullet impact was right there. You could see where it just grazed the very edge of like the middle of his ear. But we're going to try to go for the meat.
What I find the most interesting is that the whole head is still there.
That's kind of crazy. I thought it would have disappeared. Firing. Oh yeah, I think that was it. Oh yeah, that was the fucking money shot right there.
That's a perfect sim there.
How's his head still connected?
I don't know. This is crazy. I don't think a bullet actually hit him.
Like his neck's not broken. I don't.
Where did you get the glass to cut?
I'm taking ballistic out of my name because I clearly don't understand them.
Oh, that was fucking perfect.
Yeah.
Piercing. Yo,
Dude, that's wild.
what'd they say? Don't get your ears pierced at Claire's.
When Trump said it felt like he got hit by something, you can see the vibration. It'd feel like someone kind of slapped you on the ear.
I was just going to say, I'm actually personally surprised that it had that much temporary cavity, that much expansion.
But notice how the head is still there.
Yeah. Yeah, if you play it all in full speed, it's like, well, that's very unfucking impressive.
Right.
But
I mean, everybody's making fun of his ear bandage in his speech, saying like, oh, he's wearing a big bandage for sympathy or whatever. You just saw his ear explode from cavitation from getting hit by a gun. Like,
yeah, it looked okay, because I know he was golfing the next day, which talk about fucking Chad energy right there.
I mean, Evander Holyfield finished the round, so I mean.
Yeah, well, to be fair, you got, assassination attempt at 8, but you've got a tea time at 9 a.m. Like, yeah, what you gonna do? A lot of people talk about how Trump turned his head at the last minute, and that's what saved his life. And it's really easy to see. Like, there's graphics and shit of it, but now that we have a ballistic dummy here, you can actually plainly see the trajectory the bullet took to go through the ear the way that it did. If his head was tilted the way that it was before he went to go look at that graph, it's hitting a lot of, the really important lizard brain stuff that makes you, continue to breathe. So him turning his head at the last minute got a lot of the vital part of his brain out of the way of that bullet, which is just, talk about luck. We might be having a very different conversation had that not been the case. I think that is what would qualify as too soon. Speaking of too soon, you want to gank the shooter?
Man. Hey, Gravel, welcome in. Good to see you, hon.
Hey, Nico, how you doing, buddy?
What's going on, Gravel?
So realistic. Man, I know it was God. And if you see another 3D version, once he raised his arm up, one went underneath the arm, one did hit the vest, thank God he had on. And when he went down, 2 more went right by him while he was laying flat on his face. All of this happened before Secret Service got to him.
You've got to talk about it.
Like I've been saying, I got 57,000 questions and no answers. And I heard you guys talking about it earlier, the Secret Service director today. Nothing.
Well,
we didn't hear anything,
So the gentleman the gentleman that I was talking about not only made that statement, but when he was done making that statement, he had his aides present the 2 silhouettes that he was firing at behind him with the accuracy on them. And what I did was I screenshotted that still because I wanted to see what it was what his grouping looked like. And the reason I'm talking about grouping is because in the military, when we go to sight our weapons, we use a grouping. We usually take 3 rounds and we try to put them all in the same place. If we've got them all within 1 inch, that means we've got a good grouping. But if they're over here, over there, over here, totally different thing. So I wanted to see what his grouping was like. His grouping was a little funky. At least that's what I could see from it. And if this gentleman was just if he would have just held his breath, that's the thing. Those people that are watching that are military know about holding your breath on a long range shot. If he would have held his breath to take that shot, it would have been a different outcome. That's all it takes, because holding your breath stops your barrel from moving left and right.
And then he also spoke about that in the YouTube video as well. That's Brandon Hirana. I can't never say his name. It's Herreren. And with that video. And he spoke about that. If you go back, it's a 20-minute video. I took the important part out that we were getting to. And he says, and this was without, he starts out at 130 feet range or whatever, away from a yard. And he says, well, we're going to do it close. We're going to do it close. And that's why they went forward and they did it close up. And he was trying to show that. But man, I know God did this. I know God.
So 130 yards is almost 400, is over 400 feet.
That's like what, a football field?
A football field, yeah.
About a football field?
A football field plus about 100.
It would be a football field plus both goals.
Let me ask you, do you believe that 20-year-old that was not a marksman, had not even had any training and couldn't even get into the rifle, did that shot?
Well, here's what I can tell. I mean, here's what I can say. Here's what I can say. So anytime I get a new AR and a scope, if I was to do it every day to get that scope perfectly sighted, and just, maybe a couple hours out on the range or an hour or so, that would take me at least a week. It would take
but he didn't get there.
To get the scope sighted.
There until 10 o'clock that morning. He wasn't there when they get there. Now, you tell me what you think after I show this.
No, that's me. Nico might be faster than me. That's me.
I'm going to show you this video. Right. But I'm going to show you this video. And I think both of your perceptions will be different.
Take a look at what happened. That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Now, when I watched that video at one point, before I ever saw that up part of it, first thing I saw was something black rappel down. It just went fast. Gravel always pops out and he'll pop back in.
So I don't know from that image what that could be. I believe it could be a person. The water tower, if I'm not mistaken, was further out from the original protective rings that they were creating around the bandstand. But I can say this about the shooter. And to kind of build on what Gravel was saying is, I can literally go online right now and buy a little attachment that goes down the front of the barrel of my rifle that will now project a laser out of the front to a target. And if I position my weapon with me looking through the reticle to see what it's hitting, I can then line up that laser with my reticle to get a
perfect
spot on every time shot. The other thing besides that is this. I know that me, who is retired military, knows how to, teach people to use these weapons to implement them in, protective situations. I can teach that shot. And 99 out of 100 times you will hit the target within, I'll say, 5 inches.
Okay.
So the fact that he was 130 yards away and he just grazed the ear, he was a little bit aware of how to operate that weapon. We don't know. There's no dialogue so far about what he was able, whether or not he went out hunting with his dad or anything like that, or went target shooting with his dad somewhere. That weapon may have been perfectly sighted, and it was truly just divine intervention of him turning his face. We don't know.
True.
Yeah, good point. Good point. And that's what I was getting at. Appreciate that, Nico. And that's what I was getting at is that, for me to really feel comfortable with the scope, it's a good 7 straight days. And what Nico was saying, the only evidence or whatever you want to call it that's been discussed is something about he went to a tactical range the day before or 2 days before or something like that. But we don't, that's all we've been told, So I don't know.
Well, again, I'm just thankful that it did not actually penetrate the intended area. I'm thankful that our president is still alive. I'm thankful that he's still in the fight. I'm thankful that he is showing the gumption to continue pressing forward, which is what we need right now.
And he did that.
Nico, do you think, I wanted to ask someone who's also familiar with firearms.
Go ahead.
Nico, do you think the round was in the air when Trump looked right or whatever he did? Do you think?
No.
Okay.
At 130 yards, when we heard the round, it was already gone.
Right. I'm just wondering. I'm wondering if the round was in the air as Trump turned his head.
And it just meant.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay.
So you think the shot went out, boom, and he turned?
Yeah, that round is moving extremely fast. If you ask me what it is right now, I couldn't remember. I don't remember how many feet per second it moves in the 223, 556 range. Not on my mind right now. But it is moving extremely fast, and it would be moving. It was moving fast enough that it would have traveled to him just over 0.2 of a second, maybe.
I know Trump knows how lucky.
Yeah, that's
0.2 of a second. No, I'm talking about from the time we heard that to the time that it was there. There was probably a delay of about 0.2 of a second, because he didn't respond to the pop. He responded to the actual penetration.
Right. He said it felt like he got stung by a bee or something really bad.
Right. No, I'm not talking about the time it traveled from the rooftop to him. I'm talking about the time from when we heard the pop.
Okay.
From that point, just after that, 0.2 of a second after we heard that sonic boom, that explosion from the chamber, he was hit. And then we saw this. And then we saw him get down.
MAGA says, if it was the rooftop round, no. If it was the water tower round, possible.
We wouldn't have heard the pop from the water tower round. It was too far away.
But what if there were multiple shooters? Because we have the 911 call to where she says that there's 2 in the woods. 2 in the woods.
Possible. I mean, we're good. Listen, just like I said about President Biden and the Biden 3000 Android, we're not going to know the truth about this for 20 years.
Oh, definitely not.
Years.
Well, let's listen in a little bit more of the bullshit that took place today with the committee hearing.
A former president or a candidate, you need to resign. That's what Stuart Knight did. He was a Republican appointee, and he took responsibility. And I think you need to reflect. This is not a question of you. It's a question of the American people. You cannot go leading a Secret Service agency when there is an assassination attempt on a presidential candidate. I would say that about anyone who is running. And so I guess my question to you is, what's the difference between your position and what Stuart Knight did?
What I will tell you, sir, is that I am dedicated to finding the answers to what happened. And like every Secret Service agent, we don't shirk our responsibilities. I will remain on and be responsible to the agency, to this committee, to the former president, and to the American public.
But is there a reason you wouldn't just do what Stuart Knight did after the Reagan assassination attempt?
I believe that I provided an answer.
There's nothing more that you have to say? I mean, do you really believe at this moment, given how divided the country is and the questions asked, that your service in this role is the best for the nation? I mean, I'm not saying you can't do public service again, you can't do something else again. Do you really genuinely in your heart believe that you being in this role is what's right for America at this moment? I mean, do you think there are people who are Trump supporters who have confidence in you? The one thing that we've got.
Well, I'm a Trump supporter and I have zero confidence. Zero confidence. She confirmed the sniper that took the kid out only shot one round. There were 2 different sounds and patterns. Yes, we listened to that the other night. Someone had took it and analyzed it and went further with it. But she should resign. She should. I have a couple more of the videos from the committee because I've had a lot of people saying, are you going to play any of those tonight? Because they missed them tonight. So I'm saving Mary. I'm MGT. I'm saving her for last. But we're going to go. We're going to.
How many spent shell casings were found on the roof?
Again, I would have to defer you to the FBI's criminal investigation.
Okay. Word is that the car was rigged with explosives.
Again, sir, I'd have to defer you to the FBI's investigation.
Okay. You're not curious about, you don't communicate with them? No. Okay. CNN reported that the Secret Service did not sweep the building the shooter was used to shoot President Trump and other attendees. Is that true or false?
So we are conducting a mission insurance investigation and will depend on the information that we obtain from our investigations.
Okay. The Secret Service knew there was a suspicious person anywhere from 8 minutes before President walked on stage to 30 to 60 minutes. We have different reports. Was President Trump or his team notified of the threat?
I think there's a difference and a distinction between suspicious
person
and threat.
Yeah.
So we are going back and looking at communications to know when the information about a suspicious person was passed to Secret Service personnel.
Okay, but was President Trump or his team notified?
Again, we are going back and looking to make sure that we have the exact information of when those notifications were made and who those notifications were made to.
Okay. I think it's troubling for a lot of us that the number one question everyone in America is wondering is why was the roof left open? And after 9 days, we should at least maybe have a little bit of that information. And when you come to this committee hearing and you don't have anything to say about that, it's very, very troubling. Did you review the security plan for this event?
I personally do not review security plans for events that take place across the country.
Any of them?
We have a number of events that
Who's
take
the
place.
top level official who reviews the security plans?
There's a number of people that review security plans.
Who's
as they
ultimately
unfold.
responsible for signing off on a security plan?
It's a conjunction of personnel. There are people on the ground, there are supervisors on the detail, there are people at headquarters.
So there's not one person who says, okay, this is good, it's copacetic, we're going for it?
I think much in the way that we build our security plans, where they are multi-layered.
No doubt there's teams working different aspects of it, but ultimately, isn't there an individual who signs off on the plan?
Much like how we design our security plans, they're multi-layered, there are multiple layers.
So there's no
people.
accountability?
There is accountability, sir.
There's, this is whether it's the FBI or Fauci or anything, it's time after time after time, these multiple layers of accountability turn into layers of plausible deniability in agency after agency after agency. That's got to be fixed, because you keep coming here and expecting, yes, you're saying I'm responsible, and you're accountable for it, but then there's nothing. What do you mean by that? I mean, you're saying you're going to keep your job, right?
I assure you, sir, that if we determine through the course of our investigation that someone or people need to be held accountable, we will do so.
What level of, if President Biden, God forbid, had been shot and killed, would you think that was worthy of resignation?
I would do the same thing that I'm doing here, where I would want to make sure that we are conducting an investigation, that there is continuity in that investigation, and that we could find the answers to what happened.
You do not think the assassination of somebody under your detail is worthy of resignation?
I think that this event was tragic and deserves answers.
The thing that you've said so far is that you want to make sure that this never happens again. The thing is, everyone in America knows that's not the job description that you're tasked with. The job description you're tasked with is to make sure it never happens, period. One of your goals in the strategic plan is to champion diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility. You've accomplished the accessibility part. What standards, do you keep the same standards for all applicants and all, or does every Secret Service agent meet the same qualifications, or do you have different standards for different people?
Yes, sir. Everyone who moves through the application process has to meet the same standards to become a special agent.
Okay. The trouble I think we're having with right now, so far you gave a lame excuse for sloped roof. You said that local law enforcement's job was to cover up the building before backtracking on that. We were told that President Trump's team did not ask for security before you backtracked on that. You haven't provided the audio recording that this committee, the chairman, requested that was due Thursday. You didn't give us an advanced copy of your opening statement, but yet there was reporting on it somewhere else. There seems to be more information from YouTube videos than you're able to provide for us, and it begs the question to anyone, you're in charge of the investigation of your own failure. So how is anybody in America supposed to be able to trust the results of that investigation as being anything transparent and genuine?
That's the last question, but please feel free to answer the question, Director.
Sir, I've been a Secret Service agent for nearly 30 years. I have led with integrity, and I follow our core values of duty, justice, honor, loyalty, and courage. And I am doing that in this case, and I assure this committee that I will provide answers when we have a full and complete report, in addition to cooperating with all of the other investigations that are ongoing.
Chair now recognizes Mr. Khanna from California.
So once again, nothing, not one thing. Didn't
I don't believe her at all. And actually, not only should she be fired, and I did watch that whole hearing today. I'm glad you shared it, though, Country. At least at this point, in my mind, she's like borderline, like obstruction of justice.
Yes.
I mean, she's in front of at a minimum, she's talking to the oversight committee. It's not like she's talking in a bar and is like, oh, I can't talk about this. But I think it's like close to a crime, what she just did today. That's my thought. I'm not a lawyer, but
Well, I'm not a violent person, okay? I'm really not. But I'm going to tell you, when I was watching her with MGT, I wanted to slap her. I wanted to slap her when she took that drink of water. I did. Let's watch this final video, and you'll really have something to say.
I have a timeline that does not have specifics.
That's shocking. That is absolutely unacceptable. That means you are a failure at your job. Let's talk about things that are prohibited in Trump rallies. And I've been to a lot of Trump rallies. Backpacks and bags, bicycles, firearms, any type of weapon, or any other item determined to be a potential safety hazard, like a rangefinder would be one. At 5:10, Crooks is first observed by one of the snipers, AGR Sniper 1, at the building. 5:10, President Trump was shot in the face at 6:11 p.m. 5:28, AGR Sniper 1 takes a picture of a bicycle and 2 bags. Those belong to Crooks. 5:32, AGR Sniper 1 spots Crooks looking at his phone and using a rangefinder. 5:55, Butler ESU Command confirms receipt of photos and states they have been relayed on. 6:05 p.m., AGR Sniper 1 later communicates that Crooks is seen moving northeast in direction of Sheets and that Crooks has a backpack. 2 minutes before the shooting, while President Trump has been allowed to take the stage, people see Crooks laying on his stomach in a sniper position on the roof, and they're yelling he has a gun, and they are trying to alert law enforcement and Secret Service. Why was Crooks not shot by the snipers? Why was he allowed to be there?
As soon as the individual was identified as a threat. They were
No. What do you consider to be a threat? A man with a gun laying in a sniper position, a man that had a backpack, a man that had a bicycle, a man that had a rangefinder. At what point is he determined a threat?
An individual with a backpack is not a threat. An individual with a rangefinder is not a threat.
What about a man laying on a building that has direct line of sight of President Trump with a gun that people are screaming and pointing out? Is that a threat, Ms. Cheadle?
Once that individual was identified, they were neutralized.
No, they were neutralized. Crooks was neutralized after he shot President Trump in the face, Ms. Cheadle. Is he only a threat once he fires the weapon?
As soon as the counter sniper identified that individual, they were able to neutralize them.
How were people in the crowd? Okay, then let's just take it this way. People under your command did not consider him to be a threat, yet people in the crowd knew he had a gun and considered him to be a threat. That means that you are a complete failure as the director of the Secret Service, that people under your command don't perceive a man laying on a roof with direct line to the president with a gun. They don't perceive that to be a threat, yet the people in the crowd do. How is that possible?
That's the last question, but please answer the question, Ms. Director.
I'm not certain at this time how the information from the people in the crowd was relayed to any law enforcement personnel.
No, you knew, that everyone knew. The people there knew that there was a danger. They knew there was a threat to President Trump, and it was allowed to happen. Was there a stand-down order, Ms. Cheadle? No. Was there a conspiracy to kill President Trump?
Absolutely not.
Then how did this happen? And why are you still sitting here not turning in your letter of resignation?
Last question, but please answer, and then I'll recognize Ms. Presley. Please answer that question.
That is what we are investigating to determine.
We're waiting for your letter. We are waiting for your letter of resignation, and you really need to consider doing that before you leave today.
Chair now recognizes Ms. Presley from Massachusetts.
Wow.
Ridiculousness.
Stonewalling is all we get. That's all we get. But the roof. Here is what the roof looks like, where he would have been, and in the direction of where Trump would have been on stage.
Well, not close. Yeah.
That's the slope there. But they kept saying, well, why wasn't it covered? You know, I've done security for years. We talked about this endlessly. You're assigned a post. They call it a post. That is your post, and you're assigned it. You don't go outside of that post. You stay there, and if you leave, you have to call for relief. They watch it as you go do the bathroom, whatever you got to do, and come back. You are solely responsible for that. Well, a little bit ago, Josh Hawley, I don't know if you can read this, I can tell you what it says, had come forward, said his whistleblowers had come forward, and they stated that law enforcement was designated that as a post. And as far as which law enforcement, I do not know, because they just say law enforcement. I figured they would say Secret Service. I don't know. I have to do some more research on that. But they supposedly were there, but they left because it was too hot.
So I remember when they were talking about, they felt that roof, that sloped roof, was not a ideal location for counter snipers or snipers to be in because it was unstable. If you look at the video from just today, I don't want to go into that day. I don't want to go into nothing. I want to go into today. Members of the Congress and the Senate were on that roof, walking around and taking pictures, standing up, full-grown men, standing up on this roof. I'm saying that to say, if I can put my full body weight on a 3x3 square foot area, you're telling me that this young man couldn't have laid himself out, or a full-grown sniper, a full-packed sniper with his weapon, couldn't have laid himself out over a 20 by 5 foot area with his equipment and his weapon to protect that area? Unacceptable.
And think about it. They left because it was too hot. Okay, that's a metal roof, tin roof, whatever you want to call it. You hear everything. Officers were even in that second part right there where the windows were. They got pictures of him, and they're saying he's crawling around on the roof. Well, how is he crawling around with short sleeves on a roof with thin pants on a scorching hot roof? If it's so hot that they have to remove themselves, how is he doing it and crawling and positioning himself with burns? Does he have burns on his arms? I would like to know that question.
No, I honestly think he did it the way any other trained, target shooter would. He threw down a wool blanket, did what he needed to do. It's not going to burn through that wool blanket. You know what I mean?
I mean, Country, we discussed this the other night when I was asking you, because you have security background. I don't. I'm not LEO. But the question on the one video, on the first video or the video before MTG, remember how I was talking the other night about command and control, C2? Correct. And he's like, well, who was in charge? Because somebody had to be in charge. And the other point I wanted to make, my understanding of the Secret Service, while there is an element of reaction in the event of some extreme thing, I thought their whole job in life was to prevent something from happening.
Exactly.
Somebody checked me there. I thought that was their job, And I understand they're going to have to react, like in the Reagan situation and in the Trump situation, but their whole purpose in life is to prevent something like that so they don't have to react. Right?
I also looked at it from the position of, okay, we've got counter snipers on other rooftops around here. Mm-hmm. You're telling me that none of these counter snipers and none of these spotters, because remember, with every sniper, there is a spotter, somebody that is actively looking through binoculars. You're telling me that none of these snipers and none of these spotters saw an individual walking on a light-colored roof in their line of vision, which I'm sure they all had overlapping lines of vision. You're telling me you didn't see it at 130 yards out from that stage? No, that's BS.
No, that's that's bullshit. Not at all, really. I've ever been to. I've never been to one of the rallies either, but my understanding is we played a witness that was there, her and her husband, and it was a pretty lengthy video, and she stated she heard 5 shots from the roof. I saw 5 shots go into the podium after he hit the ground, straight into the podium. Now, there were other shots going off behind that. You understand? So, did they go through the podium and they continued to travel? Is that possible? I don't know a lot about this stuff. And the echoes we hear with multiple shots going off, that could be just a vibration of the bullet hitting something. Because it was bleachers, and everybody knows with bleachers, it does radiate. When you step on bleachers, it has that sound. I don't know. My opinion, my theory, I believe there was more than one shooter. There had to have been. This was a collective. This was a well thought out plan. And for Secret Service to, first off, they was not going to have snipers come, which I reckon it's not uncommon for them not to go. Or they just don't know if they're there or not. But they stated they was not going to, send any, but they did. Trump did request for more security. He did request for more security. He actually even, after that, put Mar-a-Lago down on more security. He did request for security, and he was denied the security. There's record of that. A lot. You guys got to go read the preliminary report. I posted it on the Telegram. You can always look it up. It's very interesting read, the timeline itself. And I'm not a stupid person, and most people, they have common sense. You know what to do to prevent a dangerous situation from happening without any training. We're average people. We know, just reactions. We know how to stop and think, okay, well, I'm going to stop and this isn't going to happen if I do this, you know. And we're just average. I'm an average, I'm a woman. I know how to prevent things from happening that are dangerous. Here we have an ex-president, possible future president, which I believe will be. And we have the utmost, the best of the best, the Secret Service that's there, that's supposed to protect. And we have law enforcement, which was told to do traffic. They were told to do traffic, that Secret Service would take care of everything else.
Well, unless he had, unless Crooks had full auto, which is technically illegal. That sound video you played the other day, Country, that rapid succession of shots, I can tell you right now, I could show you, I cannot pop off 6 to 8 rounds, whatever it was.
Right.
The amount of time that I heard those shots, because I'm set. It's a semi-auto, you know. It's a lead.
So
I'm a lead owner, you know.
And it sounded
he
like
probably
different shots. It was different shots. You could actually
Yeah.
hear it. And I'm not a gun person, but I could tell just by the sound, an automatic to a.
So we probably heard the sounds of him firing and the response firing to eliminate the threat. That's probably what we heard, because it wasn't somebody climbing on the roof that took him out. Was not. I'm sorry, no, that's not even realistic. It was a sniper that took him out, and they painted that rooftop with him because nobody was climbing up there that fast. If you remember looking at some of the video, they had, I guess, members of the sheriff's department that had to climb over something to get to the area to get to where that ladder was. So no, that was fire. That was a call and response for the best description of what it was. Somebody fired, the gentleman fired, and the Secret Service responded. I really would love to know who the area commander was. I really would love to know the names, or not even the names. You could give me initials and how long they've been on the job. Because there was that one Secret Service agent when they were trying to get the president into the vehicle. She looked like she didn't even know how to holster her weapon properly.
I know that.
She tried twice. Twice. She left-handed. She tried to put it in once, didn't go in, so to speak. Tried to put it in a second time, didn't go in. And then she just started pointing it at the crowd. I was like, what the hell is she doing? You know?
And you know, and I don't know if you know their loadout, but most members of the Secret Service, the reason that they keep their hands here, if you notice, most of them walk around with their hands here. It's because they're carrying 2 very serious pieces of equipment on them. Besides their sidearm, underneath their jackets, they're carrying an SMG. And that's so that they can get to that weapon faster than they can get to their sidearm. So they keep their hands here to be able to respond.
Thank you. Thank you, Nico. We didn't know. Well, I'll tell you right now, they wasn't doing it that day. They wasn't holding it.
Can I address one of AK-318's comments?
Sure.
She said, and this is my question too. Believe me, I have the same question. She said they didn't even tell Trump of any threat. That is my question. Why, if they knew there was a threat, why did they, and I've asked this on TikTok, I've talked about it in your show, Country, why did they let him on stage?
That's the $1 million question, isn't it?
That's the $1 million for me. That's exactly.
Well, I think it is for most of America, or most of the people who support Trump, or even ones that don't support Trump. I've heard quite a few Democrats that have sound mind that feel that as well. Why wasn't Trump told about it? He even stated in a video, I don't know if I still have it up, that he was not even warned about it, and he didn't know what was going on. And he was like, nobody told me anything. Nobody told me there was a threat. Nobody said. He was even an hour late. He was an hour late. And see, I've thought, this is the way my conspiracy mind goes. I thought, okay, well, he was an hour late for whatever reason, and it took however long to set up. And I believe this was an inside job, without a doubt. Maybe it took them that long to get stuff set up a certain way, and then Trump comes in. I mean, Barron was there. He had his grandkids there. I mean, just before it. I mean, this honestly, and then they say there were explosives next to a gas line. There was explosives in a car. How many people do you think that were there that day? If you had to guess.
I don't know. I
Maybe.
know that they said
let me see. So
said
his
there was
Michigan
2,000.
rally, yeah, his Michigan rally was it was like 13,000. That was the indoor one, the one he did yesterday or the day before. It was Saturday, right?
Right.
And then the Butler one, I don't know.
Hey, Sammy.
I can look it up.
Well, that's okay. My point is, we're going to say there probably was let's say at least 20,000. At least 20,000, because it's outdoor, multiple. One rally, he had 80,000 there at one rally. So keep in mind, we have this, and let's say we have multiple shooters, and we've all been thinking, okay, we've been thinking, okay, they're going to try to take him out. They're going to have a big event take place because they do not want this election to take place. They do not want this election to take place. And so my theory on it was this was going to be bigger than 9/11. It would be the new 9/11 of 2024. They were going to use a Trump rally. They were going to be able to take Trump out. They were going to take there would have been some mass casualties because, see, nobody got up and started running to where he could pick off more people. I mean, Corey died and we had a few other injuries. Sorry for the family of Corey. But this could have been a lot worse. I mean, with the explosives, people running, it would have you know what I'm saying? This would have been a mass casualties more than 9/11. And I believe that was the end game for it. So now, this is my theory. Now we have Biden that has removed himself out of the race. And now Kamala has been appointed as the delegate.
Country. I'm not a rabbit hole guy. I'm not a sea theory guy. This last 3.5 weeks has been real weird. So the debate, Biden fell on his face. Then they tried to take out Trump. They were unsuccessful. Right. And now Biden just drops out suddenly. And basically, he emailed the country. I made a video about this on TikTok right before I joined your show. Mm-hmm. Not on White House letterhead.
That's what I said.
He emailed the country and said, "Hey, I'm not going to run." And this is so freaking strange. What's going on? And then the whole thing with Kamala and everything else. And oh yeah, by the way, where is Biden? Nobody's seen him since last Wednesday.
Well, I just read a report that he is going to be at the White House tomorrow. So we'll see. We will see if he's there. And I remember last week, I think you were on the show.
He's going to be
he's supposed to be at the White House tomorrow. He's supposed to
say it one more time. I'm sorry.
The White House.
Oh, the White House. Okay, thank you.
But remember the other day we were talking, and I believe, God, I'm getting older. It just left my mind. Damn. I talk and think about Biden and my mind goes. Isn't that
That's right. See, it's cognitive dyslexia syndrome that is migrated through the television every time you see Biden's face.
I remember now. See, we got away from it and it came back.
Gotcha.
But with Biden, the emergency, remember I said, hold on, we got breaking news. Laura Loomer had broken news that there was an emergency when he had left the interview after the debate on that weekend. Everybody was going off on her and saying, no. Well, now reports are coming out that was real. And they were trying to downplay it at the time and say, oh, no, they always request for a room. It's nothing major at a hospital. You don't request for a room if you don't need it. They shut down traffic and everything. And since then, I can't think of a time we saw the interview, but let's just say AI does wonders, and they were very short videos after Trump had gotten assassinated, almost assassinated. They were the first video was 2 minutes. The second video was 3 minutes when he was talking about Trump. And then he said he had a conversation with him. I really don't believe he had a conversation with him.
Well, I look at it from this perspective. I think the offense that happened in Butler are reprehensible. We do need to have the United States Secret Service. I think that it is imperative that the people now take action. The only way that we can take action is by electing our president back into office and doing it in such a way that it is a resounding slap in the face to let them know that we're not going to allow them to treat us any which way they want anymore. President Trump said it previously. He says, they're not after me, they're after you. I'm just standing in the way. And they have truly proven that that is their agenda and their objective, to remove him from him stopping them from taking advantage of us. They've been doing it for God knows how long. This swamp, I don't even like calling it a swamp anymore. It's a cesspool. It's a putrid cesspool of lies and deceit.
It's like hell, you know? I mean, I don't even know what's going on there. And I agree with you, Nico. I mean, and I keep telling people that. Make sure you vote. Don't get complacent.
That's what I keep telling brother. Like, he'll beat Harris.
And I think what Nico was saying was we got to overwhelm this thing.
Yes.
There can't be any question, you know.
And now we have Kamala Harris, and it took me a lot. Everybody that's watching on TikTok that knows me from TikTok, you know, it takes a lot for me to say her name properly. We now have. Whoa! What the heck happened there?
I don't know. Your phone
okay.
probably went sideways.
Kamala. No, I don't know. It's doing something. There we go.
It's coming
now
back.
There we go. We have Kamala Harris, and Kamala Harris openly admitted to the world that her and Montel Williams and whoever that other young lady is, you can see it on my TikTok, engaged in a threesome.
Yeah.
Engaged in a threesome, and is proud of it. And here's my thing. I live in the state of California. She was unfortunately my attorney general. She was the mayor of San Francisco at one point? Okay, that's a bastion of freaking free speech and a bastion of freaking Second Amendment rights and a bastion of constitutional rights. Thank you very much. Now you're putting somebody in position for them to possibly be president of the United States when they are technically not even, stop it. Yes, that's what I call her. That she is not even legally allowed to be in the position to run for president of the United States. If you're going to tell me that she is qualified, no, I won't say qualified. I will say authorized, legitimately able to run for the office of president of the United States, then you know what? We should have had Arnold Schwarzenegger as a president also.
Well,
and here's what's weird. I was talking to Country about this the other night. So, I mean, Camel Toe has been running around saying, yeah, I'm going to win. We're going to win the election and this and that, so on and so forth. You are not, ma'am, Miss Camel Toe, you are not the nominee. You still have to be nominated.
I think they nominated her tonight, didn't they?
No.
How many delegates?
No, there is technically
until she goes to the convention. She is not the nominee. Right now, she is a candidate.
But didn't the convention
not
start?
to the DNC. No, not till next month.
August 19th.
Oh, it's August. Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Well,
that's why we were looking up. Remember,
Okay.
that's why we were looking up the ballots also, or whether or not Biden could be pulled from the ballots. In some states, he cannot be pulled from the ballot, but in most states, he can.
Wisconsin and Nevada, she can't be added unless he 25th Amendment or death.
Exactly. And that's going to probably be the end game for them, because right now the Biden family crime syndicate is going to need a couple of outs. The only way they get those outs is if Kamala gets the position of president of the United States.
Yeah, but the Bidens want their little hooky dookie deal. They want pardon with their son. They want the book deal. They want the library, billions of dollars.
Not going to happen. Trump is going to go into the office, and I truly wish I could work on his staff, because I think you guys know I worked on Vice President Pence's staff when we were trying to legalize cannabis for veterans. But I would have loved to work on his staff and help him implement the things that need to be done for our first 100 days as quickly as we possibly can so that he can get on to the bigger and better things, the more important things like getting us out of the Ukraine war and getting us away from this situation between, Israel and Palestine, and letting them know if you guys decide you want to blow each other up, y'all go on ahead and do that. We're going to come over here and rebuild our country, which is exactly what we need to do right now. We need to be rebuilding as a nation. We are so divided in so many different ways. We need to rebuild our nation. And the only way we can do that is let the CEO of the company do what he needs to. We, as the citizens, need to start doing what we need to build those bridges and get everybody back together.
Absolutely. I mean, but how do you do that?
Yeah, and hey, Grandma, just a side note, you guys might laugh about this. Grandma, I did fall asleep on my own live last night. I'm an old man. I cannot do lives until 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, I realized.
Yeah, it does tired. I've done it many times until I realized there was a mute. And when I figured out there was a mute, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Got a mute here. Well, we have, from a Christian standpoint, we have some people that believe different. Some people believe that she's part of what's in the Revelation. Let's watch this video.
Of Babylon that swore in on a Freemason's Bible? Well, that's next on the trumpet. That one right there. She swore in on 2 Bibles, and one belonged to Thurgood Marshall. And he was a 33rd degree Mason. That guy right there. Our first president was a 33rd degree Master Mason. Purple, gold, pearls, fornication. 6 buttons on each sleeve and 6 pearls in a gold chain. That Bible. It says that the waters that she's over are many peoples and nations. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. He just stepped down 42 months after taking office. And he spoke great blasphemies for 42 months.
Decision as a miracle. Maybe it's coming from that Bible he's trying to sell. Whoa. I almost wanted to buy one just to see what the hell's in it.
When I see the sword fall upon the land, I blow the trumpet and warn the people. So like and follow the trumpet for more. And in Jesus' name, have a blessed day.
He actually has some really cool stuff. I love watching his videos. They're very, very entertaining. A lot of them are. I know, Nico. I know. But they're entitled to their way of thinking. And
it is an opinion. Let me say, and I am not speaking for all members of my society of Masonry. I am a Master Mason. I am proud to say that I'm a Master Mason. Here's the thing about the Master Mason. 95% of all Masons in the United States are Republicans or conservative minded. 95%. The reason is because we follow something that is practiced in law and in government. We follow jurisprudence. It is a part of it is ingrained in our society. So when they start going into the Bible and how, Masons this and Masons that, that's what we refer to as a catechism. It's something that the Roman Catholic Church put out because they were against Freemasonry because they did not understand what it was that Freemasons were doing. I will tell you exactly what we're doing because it's what I do every day. My job as a Freemason is to make myself better, not only for myself or my family, but for my community. I am to raise myself up so that my community is in a better position. I am to come to the aid of distressed widows and orphans as my obligation, as every Master Mason in this country, as every Mason from the 1st degree to the 3rd degree has done. So it bothers me very little to hear it because it's become so comical of, oh, they're devil worshipers, oh, they sacrifice babies, oh, they do this, oh, they do that. Yeah. I'm a 32nd degree Master Mason, and I'm proud to be one. And the brothers of the Masonic Order and my sisters of the Order of the Eastern Star, which I'm also a member of, they all share the values that are conservatives. And no, we're not trying to bring on the apocalypse and we're not raising demons. No, we are concerned with this country the exact same way everybody else is. We want it to be better. Everybody in my lodge, pretty much, I can't think of anybody in my lodge, and I'm the worshipful master for my lodge. I'm the head guy for my lodge. I can't think of anybody in my lodge that doesn't support President Trump. So
most do, most do support. There, you have it's like you have good and you have bad on any direction, in any direction, and it's the bad ones that make it hard for the good. Just like every other thing that we live in, the world we live in.
There could be a bad apple anywhere. There are bad apples in the military,
I mean, that's the same argument they had for ISIS. Remember, ISIS only made up 0.05% of all Muslims in the world, but unfortunately, we literally were attacking anyone of Middle Eastern descent, and it was the smallest of population within that organization or that religion that was actually guilty of doing anything. So, I'm used to being persecuted for it. I'm used to people, oh my God, and then when they find out who I am and they talk to me, they're like, well, our God, because I'm a God-fearing man. I pray before. My girlfriend loves it now. She's like, at the beginning, she kind of was like, you pray. And I'm like, yes, I pray. I pray before I eat my meals. I pray before I go to sleep at night. When I open my eyes in the morning, I say, thank you, God, for another beautiful day. Yes, I pray. The God that I prayed to, the God that the Bible that I took my oath on was a King James Bible. That's it. There's nothing special inside of it. There's no changes to the words. That's it. But if you have questions, come see me on TikTok. I'll answer them.
Yes.
Yeah, and hey, I was just going to say, I didn't know you were a Mason. I don't know any Masons. I've never had a problem with Masons. I've always liked the ideology.
Hey, Jen.
It's just never been. I don't want to say it's not my cup of tea in a bad way. It's never looked into it really. But I did want to say something about, because when we were talking about Kamala, she is officially not the nominee yet. Will she?
Right.
Probably more than likely. Officially, she's not though.
She's got to have like over 1,900 delegates.
Well, exactly.
She's still a candidate.
She's still a candidate. And here's the other thing that we beautiful Americans have to keep in mind. I mean, people are like, well, where's your receipt? And I'm just like, I just heard this like 5 minutes ago. I mean, that's how quickly this information is coming out.
Yes.
It lasts 3.5 weeks. And literally, like, I as I'm in your show, Country, I'm watching the news. I'm looking at headlines, and I try not to be a headline guy, but that's how quickly this whole thing is. That's how fast
sometimes
this train is moving.
You'll see a headline come out like on some station that I don't even care to trust, but you can go look deeper and you can find the actual truth from that. Don't take it at face value. Always read thoroughly, research it, and get more than one source. Get 5 sources, because the more sources you have, the better it is to where it's actual true and fact. If you got one source and you can't find it anywhere else, I'm always like, okay, well, I'm not going to do anything with this until I get multiple sources about this.
And I completely agree with you. If I see a headline, then I go and look at the news. That was my normal process.
Right.
But because this is happening so quickly, and I think it's going to continue like this for the next week, 2 weeks. I mean, we might be stuck in this until the election. And here's my other
God
question.
Help us.
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm telling you right now. Now, here's the other question. So we're about 3 in August, September, October, about
just over 3 months
to the election.
Mm-hmm.
And Trump's going to win. I think we all know that, as long as everybody gets out there and votes.
Right.
Trump will win. Well, hopefully we'll take the Senate, keep the House, and get a bunch of Democrats kicked out of the House.
Well, if they don't try to steal the election again, we got to remember, guys, if the border wasn't open, it would be like our normal elections. The border's open.
Yeah.
They're getting driver's license. They're getting voter cards. They're getting IDs. They're getting Social Security cards. They're not a legal citizen. They are illegal immigrants. They're not a legal citizen. They cannot vote, but they're going to sure try. They're going to try.
Yep. And then we got, after the election, We got 2.5 months of the lame duck session, as they call it. Old president out, new president in. So I don't know if you guys are feeling the same way. So basically, we're about 6 months away from Trump getting into office. And I'm a little bit concerned about what's happening with, well, I'm a lot concerned. What's happening with Biden. I'll give it back to the panel. Thank you. We got 6 months. We got to deal with this still. We're not out of the woods yet, you know?
No.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing that we have to consider right now. I'm listening to Communist News Network. They're talking about who will be Kamala's
VP.
vice president. Yeah. So here's the other thing about it. Okay, you got Kamala in there.
No,
congratulations. You've now got a young candidate that's in there. You just lost the state of California.
Mm-hmm.
Because nobody, and I mean nobody, voted for her when it came to the ticket. They voted for Biden, but they did not vote for her. The state of California cannot stand this woman. She is highly against Second Amendment rights. She is highly against First Amendment rights. She has sent more men to prison in this state, and I've been in this state almost 20 years now, than I can possibly recall in New York under Cuomo, who was all, law and order and quality of life. She sent more people to prison than I could possibly imagine. And to see her now be elevated to a point where she could possibly be the chief executive of this country traumatizes me. I need a little flower, and maybe I need a safety pin, because I am traumatized. Okay, if this woman is put into office, you will see executive orders about your Second Amendment rights, about the rights of women's bodies. You will see them dictating to us what will be happening with us, and she's going to get away with it because she's going to have all her libtard friends supporting what she says and does.
Yep.
I agree. I agree with the California thing, and with the whole Biden stepping down yesterday. That was yesterday, right? Sunday.
Something like that.
Yeah, Saturday, Sunday, whenever he stepped or said he wasn't going to run again. I need to be careful with my words. Said he wasn't going to run. Here's the other thing. There's 14 million Democrats that didn't. They voted the Biden-Harris ticket, but they did not vote for Harris.
Right.
And that's where this is getting weird, because now it goes to the delegates. So it's like, what about those 14 million Democrats that voted in the primary? I'm talking about the Democrat primary. What about all those people? They're all American.
That's the question.
It's also said, we read, wasn't it, Nico, right before the show, we were talking about Nikki Haley. It also said that where the voters who voted for her, or the delegates.
Well, no, it was the super PAC, the donations.
They were gonna
the super PAC
were donations.
Sending money. They were sending money to Harris.
Yeah.
Which,
and I did read where some voters were going to be going towards her, which we all know that there was a plan. It's called the pivot plan.
To me, that's great. That's great for us. It is so great for conservatives, because now all of the independents are going to be looking and going, well, he's gone. We don't like her. Trump is the best option. And I hate to say
even if they don't like him,
they're gonna say
right.
Trump.
You know what I mean?
Do you think they would really want Kamala Harris as president? No. Think about that, guys. Let's
talk about
scary,
whether or not
man.
she's qualified. Let's
She's
talk about whether or not she's qualified to be in the position or authorized. Remember, her parents were here on student visas. One from Jamaica, right? And what was the other one? The other one from India. Okay. And they came here on student visas and had her. So because, and this is something, right? And this is something I was talking about. I was in the military. My dad was in the military. So if my dad's in the military and I go to Germany with my dad, right? Or I say, I'm in my mom's belly. Right. And we go to Germany and I'm born in a German hospital, that doesn't mean I'm a German citizen. I'm still a U.S. citizen. Even if I was born in a German hospital, I'm still a U.S. citizen. So that should not make her a citizen of these United States. That's like the DACA kids, unfortunately.
You're right, and there is, I'll call it the military exception.
There you go.
If your parents are U.S. citizens, and like let's say dad serves in the military. I mean, you know, Nico, I'm a vet too, but like, let's say dad serves in the military. Mom's a stay-at-home mom. I'm just doing a hypothetical here, and you were born in France or Germany or Italy or wherever. You are still a U.S. citizen. And it actually, kind of to highlight what you said, it actually doesn't make you an Italian citizen or whatever country you want to use.
Exactly.
You are considered a U.S. citizen.
Yeah,
and that to
it
me,
doesn't change. Your stat doesn't change if you go, you know, if you were born here and then you go there and you're still an American citizen. So
one of my goddaughter's friends, her name is Ami. Okay, Ami's mom and dad, one is from Sierra Leone, the other one is Japanese, but Japanese born here. Okay, her husband got legally migrated here, but was in process. He was not a citizen yet, but he already had his resident alien card, I believe it was, and they had Ami here. She is now a U.S. citizen. She was born here of a U.S. parent. The other parent was getting his citizenship. Makes total sense. Okay. That young lady has a dual citizenship because her father was not a full-fledged citizen of the United States. She has a citizenship with Sierra Leone, but she also has a citizenship with the United States because her father was not a citizen here yet. Now, do I think that Kamala Harris should have the right to sit in the seat of the president of the United States when neither of her parents were citizens, nor were they naturalizing themselves or becoming one? No. She should be disqualified from running, period. For her to have held the position of vice president scares me enough, because that means that if the president, like now, 25th Amendment, is removed from office, she automatically gets into the big boy chair.
And that's bad. That is so bad. That is horrible. Today, she, if you listen to her words, she almost says record on this video. I believe this was recording of Biden.
So good to hear our president's voice. Joe, I know you're still on the call, and we've been talking every day. You guys heard it from Doug's voice. We love Joe and Jill. We really do. They truly are like family to us. And we do, everybody here does.
It's mutual.
I knew you were still there. You're not going anywhere, Joe.
I'm watching you, kid. I'm watching you, kid. I love you.
I love you, Joe.
And at one point she says recording.
You know what? I'm just going to say it like this. Please don't take it the wrong way. She makes me fucking sick to my stomach.
You're right. She is going into one of the centers of they've already taken down Joe's stuff.
Let's get the quarters there, Wilmington, Delaware. Here she is. Do we have audio of this? All right, let's listen for a moment. She's caught sort of the tail end. She's walking through. So the idea, this is all the staffers who are now her staffers, right? This was Biden-Harris campaign HQ, Wilmington, Delaware. Now it's Harris headquarters. Camera's off to the side a little bit. You almost get the feeling with them quieting down like she's going to speak, or she's just left the room. Exit stage left, I think, is what we've seen.
Time to head.
Time to.
Stop, please hold for a hot second.
Yeah, they're getting the press out of there at the moment. All right, quarters there, Wilmington.
So she's already getting on the campaign trail, guys. We're fixing to see. Hold on, Buttercups, because it's going to get freaking bumpy. I mean, bumpy. Do you guys remember who this guy was?
We do have a young lady at some point become president of the United States. I can tell you how I think it will happen, because it won't happen in the normal course of events. Either the Republican or Democrat political party will nominate a man for president and a woman for vice president. And the woman and man will win. So you'll end up with a president, a male, and a vice president, a female. And in that term of office of the president will die. and the woman will become president under the law or Constitution. Well,
And he's not saying that is he predicting. Everybody's saying he's predicting, but no. He is kind of predicting, but not predicting that it was her per se, individually. He's just saying that would happen one day and that the male would die, the president, and then she would rise up to being the president. I cannot imagine her being, I'm sorry, guys, our country is in bad shape.
See, and that's what I was trying to get at. We got 6 months of Biden. But I don't know if, okay, so the last time he was seen was on Wednesday. He did not look good at all. And I'm not trying to like pick on him. He couldn't even get in the car, Grabble. Yeah. So we got 6 months of this. So this is where it's going to get real weird, is because if Biden does, like, I'll just say become, what's the word I'm looking for? It starts with an I, like an invalid. Incompetent, whatever. Kamala takes over. So that's what I was trying to say. We are not out of the woods yet.
No, because now there was an article that came out that talked about the doctor gave an update to how he was and that he had COVID. He was doing better. He did have upper respiratory issues, but he was doing better. And he's to be expected. He's quarantining and he's being expected to come to the White House tomorrow. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. Will he show up? You're muted.
So President Biden is how old again?
Isn't he
81, I believe.
Okay, he's 81 years old. My dad is 90 years old. Okay, bless his heart. He is currently fighting the vid because there's somebody at the skilled nursing facility where he's staying got COVID. And so 8 members of the staff and 3 people that live there got COVID. He got COVID and he was rushed to the hospital and he's doing fine. Now, my father at 90 years old and 6'8" is a fighter. And he lives in New York City. So he's going up and down stairs and he is walking around the community. It's summertime. He's going out to have lunch. So he's active in the community. My father is 90 years old. I have never in my life seen that man stumble. How you fall upstairs? How do you fall upstairs? I've never seen my father do that. I can see you fall downstairs, but falling up is a whole nother.
He has no balance. His balance and everything. You know what I'm saying? He's just got a mess of things going on. A mess of things.
My dad's 78. He fully retired. He bought a big ass RV, like one of those Class A. Like he's got like 4 TVs in it, and a bedroom, and all that stuff. He drives around the country by himself. You know.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's Trump's age.
I hope I've got that energy at that time. There was a big explosion today. I don't know if everybody knew about it in New Jersey. It had a truck carrying a bunch of chemicals.
Oh my goodness. I just got that on camera. Holy shit. Oh my god. What the fuck?
Bad.
Where was that?
That was in New Jersey. It hit the wall and it was carrying chemicals and it exploded. That happened this evening, actually. It did.
It was like an 18-wheeler or something.
Mm-hmm. Yep, sure was. You guys have
that I-95 corridor.
Oh, I've never been there, so I don't know much about that area. But you guys know anything about the Communist Party? I know we've had it.
Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. No communists in the United States.
Okay.
Not gonna do it.
Well, I remember a few years back I read about this, and there are some senators that are connected to this, which I lost so many accounts by posting stuff about it. But this is verified. there is actually, let me find where it's at. The Communist Party USA. There is actually a group on Twitter called the American Communist Party. Now, here is the leader of it.
Here in Chicago, proud to announce the launch of the American Communist Party. The working class of this country have been deceived, lied to, and abandoned by the establishment, by Democrats, Republicans, Libertarians, and Greens alike. And now we are here to unite for a future that will provide a vision for the liberation of the American working class and also the freeing of America from the control of the warmongers and the corporate elite. At a moment like this, with the genocide going on in Gaza, we're on the verge of World War III with Russia and with China and with Iran now. Now is the time to come together and fight to build something new. I'll have more details and announcements regarding this party very soon, but be sure to follow at ACP Maine on Twitter. It's so beautiful. We have that. Lots of new content, videos, and a declaration of the launching of this party. Check it out. You will not be disappointed.
Well, I checked it out. There's 18,000 followers. Here is their vision video. It's real.
Wow, cool graphics.
It's real.
Yeah, a lot of
It's
good
like a video
AI.
game.
Yeah, a lot of good
video
AI.
game stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a video
Yeah, that
game.
remind-
It looks
that-
like a great video game.
I was gonna say that reminds me of a good dream I had the other night. You know?
It looks like, and listen, you know, somebody may have been on that peyote, you know, and that's what they saw when they went to sleep.
They have 18,000 followers, and they have
I need
only those two videos on there.
Wow. I need 18,000
and
followers.
it's probably all the youth, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, probably so. Well, we're going to talk about the youth. We're going to talk about the youth. Since
Oh, God.
Biden has stepped down, we have had some, I feel sorry. I mean, man, Gen Z, my gosh, even the adults are doing it. I come across this live today and I thought, well, I'm going to screen record because this woman was going off. Well, we'll start with her.
Oh, honey, you're taking the bait, Mega. Thank you for taking the fucking bait and giving me over 600 people. Thank you, Mega, for telling and treating women of America. Fuck you. Thank you for telling women of America that they're only good in the fucking kitchen and they can't be on the fucking corporate ladder. Thank you, Mega and the Republican Party, men who are old, who are crippled, and need to go to the fucking retirement home. Thank you, Mega, for telling your own fucking children that you are not worthy to have a breath of air if they are having a hoo-ha in your house. So let's say it loud and proud, Mega. You hate women. You hate women. And the women that are standing up and saying, Trump, I'll be there for you, even though you're against my interests, is a cult leader of attacking women. That's what it is. And I think that that's kind of the hierarchy within America right now. It's like, how much do you love your mama? How much do you care for your sisters and your daughters? That's what it is on the fucking ballot. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Liberals, megas. Oh, yeah. What was that? Liberals, moderates, and conservatives. Yeah. Where's your fucking God? Right now, when you're attacking fucking Mary of the Bible. And Jesus Christ, his own fucking mother. That's what it is. You preach about your Christianity, and you have the fucking man who likes to touch the puss, and yet you're voting against your own bodies.
That is country. You've heard me say this before, Nico. You may have heard it as well. I always thought Trump derangement syndrome was like a joke or a misnomer, but the last couple of months, I'm like,
true.
I actually
It's
think
real.
that is
It's
real.
real.
I think it's actually a mental disorder. That's all I wanted to say on that. She was
Wait,
crazy.
she literally said that everybody. She said liberals, conservatives, and independents. That they all were attacking the Bible.
She went
So
on
you-
further
you-
in the live, and I was like,
oh my God, I can't even fathom. And it starts at home. Let's start there.
absolutely.
My two youngest sons are 10 and 12. My oldest boy is 23. He'll be 24 in October. I'm thankful that he shares some of my values, not all of them. He does have his own thinking. He does have his own mind. I've allowed my children to be independent thinkers, but I'm also glad that my two young sons are also of like mind and independent thinkers. So I truly have to wonder what's going on in this young lady's home that gave her the idea that everybody was attacking Mary of the Bible and that everybody was against her. Like, I like women. I love women. I've got a mom. I've got aunts. I've got daughters. I've got granddaughters.
Wow, dude, you don't look that old to me.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
He's right up there with us.
Not-
He's right up there.
not
You're doing good.
Not
man.
a gray yet. Yeah, not a gray yet, but I'm 50.
Oh wow. Yeah, dude, bro, Nico, I agree with you. And Devil Dog kind of said the same thing. I got two sons, about to be 16 come late August, and one just turned 14. And they, I'm a single dad, but they're athletes, and I don't really. I try to keep them. They are mini Trumpers. I mean, I will say that they just like Donald Trump. They think he's funny. They're and but I try to keep them out of politics,
Right.
and just be kids, have
Right.
fun, so on and so forth. I am careful though about who their friends are. I'm not a helicopter parent, but like this is gonna sound real mean, but like if I know somebody's a Democrat, they're not gonna get a sleepover at that house. Not because I think they're going to do anything. I don't want them talking to my kids. Does that
Right.
make sense?
Right. You don't.
Yeah, have you seen that video of the little girl that comes running up the stairs and she yells,
crying.
"Mommy, Daddy called
Daddy
me a
called me-
Democrat."
That is.
And she
right.
goes, "What? Daddy called me a Democrat. He did what? He called me a Democrat. Oh no, baby." Listen, I agree with you. I don't want my boys to be political either. But my sons do have their own opinion of what happened on 9/11.
Right.
My sons also have their own opinion of why COVID happened. My sons also have their own opinion about Joe Biden and President Trump. they both understand, my two little guys, that is, because my older son, we get into a conversation about politics, we'll talk about it for hours. But my two little guys have an opinion about President Trump that is exactly like mine, and I've never discussed it with them. They understand him because he's a New Yorker. And because their dad is a New Yorker, and I hear the way he talks, that's the way I talk. I am not politically correct. I'm being really fucking nice on here, okay, guys? I'm being really nice because when I'm around my friends and I'm just talking to people, it's a totally different environment. And my sons are used to hearing that. So when they hear President Trump talk, they hear their dad talking. They hear someone that is a native New Yorker speaking, and they identify with it, which is why I think President Trump is their choice, because I asked them, I said, hey, what do you guys think about what's going on right now? Who do you think is going to be president? They said Trump. Trump's going to be president because he's cool. And I know what he's saying, Dad. I know exactly what he's saying. And I'm like, okay, cool. So
yeah, dude, I'll tell you what, countries heard this story before, but when the whole thing happened on July 13th, the A attempt, they were sitting down. I was sitting back in my recliner, and they were sitting down on their bean bags. They had their snacks, their drinks, because they like watching the Trump rallies, right?
Right.
So then the whole thing happened. He did that move, and then he went down. So my older son looks at me, and he goes, Dad, was President Trump just shot? And I said, and I was kind of like frozen, I mean, to be honest with you, I was in shock. Then they pull him up. My younger son, who's the 14-year-old, he looks at me. He's not like sobbing or anything like that, but his eyes were like all welled up. And he goes, Dad, is he going to be okay? And at that point, I just turned off the TV. They have dirt bikes. And I said, go gear up and get on your dirt bikes. We'll get this. We'll talk about this later. You don't need to be seeing stuff like this. But I have talked to them since. And it's interesting, the mind of a child when they see something like that, because I don't think anybody deserves to see something like that. But I'm pretty sure they are going to be Republicans, MAGA, Trump for life, because now they're kind of angry about it. They're angry that it happened. You know what I mean? I'll give it back to the panel. Thank you.
Absolutely.
They are. But let's just say the flip side. Who is angry over Biden stepping down? We have a young man who really, I ain't saying this in a mean way, he needs to get a therapist.
He dropped out! He dropped out! Joe Biden, please! Gen Z, we need to band together. Please. He was for Gen Z's first president.
Well, since that video has come out, he has made a second video.
Oh, really? I actually made a video on that one, but go ahead.
Wow, a sequel? I love it.
He's made a second video.
Gen X and millennials need to stop trolling me! Stop! Biden dropping out is like 9/11 for Gen Z. Have some fucking compassion! Have some fucking empathy!
I hadn't seen that one yet.
Sweetheart, get some therapy. And I ain't being mean. I work in mental health. That's not good. That's not good. You're taking this way too serious. You're young. I can tell you look young. You should be enjoying life and doing things that you should do. I mean, he's literally seriously tore the floor up over this. And I understand that you made me lose my train of thought, Nico.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
But I can tell he taking it so real. I mean, he's baked himself up. He's baked
you were saying he was young and he needs to enjoy life.
He's young and he does need to enjoy life and not take this so serious. I mean, and then he comes back and he's like, quit trolling. Well, dude, your video has went viral, okay? And when you go viral, you don't understand. It's out there. The internet's forever. The internet is forever. And now you got your part 2. I'm going to tell you, if you keep on the roll and do a part 3, maybe it's maybe
we need to start calling the hospital on him, and we're concerned with his safety welfare check.
I mean, it's
Listen,
yeah, right.
I've got 2 issues with him. First and foremost, he said that this was Gen X's first president. Okay, yes, this may have been the first president elected during Generation X, which is Gen Z. First Gen Z president, the first president elected during Gen Z. Okay, I can accept that. But I promise you, Gen Z, that he does not have your morals, your the things that you want to be instilled in mind. He is not thinking about you except to placate you and make you vote for him. And the second video, I will speak on behalf of all Gen Xers and probably most baby boomers.
Yes.
You fucking cuck. You fucking cuck. You put yourself out there and you thought that we weren't going to roast you. We were going to come for your ass like you couldn't possibly fucking imagine. Yes, you deserve. If they came for you, you deserved it.
I mean,
trust me, that is not the 9/11. I'm sorry, you have no idea.
Yeah, and the thing is, especially with Gen X, all 3 of us are Gen Xers. I know that.
Yeah,
and the millennials as well.
You're fine.
You're fine. It's like what are you? It was like pink short-haired girl who about a month ago. She made this video where she was laying on her bed and she's like, we need to get rid of all Gen X or something like that. And I'm like, you just opened a door that you can't close now.
And are they doing it on purpose? I mean,
yes.
was he doing it on purpose?
It was literally unprovoked. And then on my video, a couple of millennials came in and they're like, we're not going there with you Gen Zers. We don't want none of this.
They don't want no smoke.
They don't exactly. They don't want no smoke.
No smoke.
Gen X, because Gen X is not the ones to play with. We took care of ourselves. We had to survive. We were in survival mode pretty much 98% of the time. And the other 2%, we were partying.
That's right. And honestly, I will give President Obama his flowers for being the first Generation X president, someone from our generation that was elected to the office of president. Though he was on the other side of the aisle, that's great, but he was the first president from Generation X. Now it's time for Gen X to stand up again. It's time to start electing us Gen Xers into Congress, because the one thing that Gen X got when we were acting up was we got that swift ass kicking. Okay. And that spare the rod, spoil the child thing is a very real thing. And right now we have a bunch of spoiled kids out there that think that they can say and act and do anything that they want and there be no repercussions. This Twitter area, this internet era has created an environment where people are so used to speaking recklessly and saying whatever they want with there being no repercussion that, yeah, we need another Gen X president, but we need that Gen X president to be conservative.
We got to get the country back on track and keep it on track and show this generation how to keep it that way so our children and grandchildren can flourish and can have the freedoms.
Agreed. Did you see?
There
was a lady who made a video. She was Gen X, and it was hysterical. But I'll just give you a brief synopsis of what she said. She goes, "You shouldn't be messing," and it's not true. It was a joke, but she goes, "You shouldn't be messing with Gen X. Half of us went into the military, and the other half of us went to jail."
Yeah, I saw that one, and that's true.
Saw that one.
Well, I never went to jail.
You saw it, okay.
I ain't saying I shouldn't have went to jail, but I didn't get caught. I did outrun the law.
I went to the military.
I did outrun the law once.
We know you was out there on Saturday night outrunning the cops. We know.
Yeah, I went in the military.
I would.
I
tried to go in the military, but they wouldn't let me in.
So that goes to what I'm speaking about. Right now, it is time for us, Gen X, to now stand up. Our country is in shambles. We know it needs a swift kick in the pants. It's time to stop electing the guy that we think looks the greatest in a suit. And it's time to stop electing the person that we think is going to win the popularity contest because we want to be a part of the in crowd. No, you want to be a part of an in crowd? Be a part of the in crowd that is going to make our country better. That's the next step. Everybody should know that now.
You went to military or it was jail? A lot of people.
Exactly, Devil Dog.
Yeah,
exactly.
That was what the choice was before, Devil Dog.
I remember my grandparents saying to so many people, that child's going to end up in jail if he doesn't get on the right track. Get him in the military. That was the thing. And that's true. It does straighten them out.
Hey, Gravel, you remember that military cadence? It was go to the army. It was go to the army or go to jail. That was in the military cadence that we were learning when I was in basic training back in 1991. Shut it up. Yes, I know. 1991 when I went to basic training. Okay. And it was serious because stop laughing at me, country. Yeah, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Wow. No, I was looking down at something. I was laughing at.
Oh, so yeah.
No, I remember. I mean, I was Air Force, but I know what you're referring to. We had a cadence similar to that. It wasn't exactly that. It was kind of like, if you want to be here, you better be a straight shooter, kind of a thing.
Wow.
Something like that. I mean, I went through officer training school, so my path to the military was a little bit different because I had my degree, and I also had and it wasn't until I was a senior in college, so I was 22 at the time, and I also had my private pilot's license. So because I had a degree, I didn't have to go through ROTC, and I didn't go to the academy.
No, so you went to OCS.
Yeah, my commissioning source was OTS. And so when you go into when I went into OTS, OCS. It was a selection process just to get there because I had EKGs and all that crap, all the medical before they wasted their time on me. And but I went in. So when you go in to OTS, you go as if you're a guy off the street like I was, you go in as an E5. Just so you're in a pay status, and you do. It was 12 weeks long, and then you commission basically the last day, and from there. But I'm not saying it was like hard, but OTS was a little bit different because OTS is designed for guys like me and prior enlisted.
Right. And that's usually who went through officer candidate. There was prior enlisted that ended up getting a degree. They applied for officer candidate or officer training school, and they went in, and then they became officers. I understand.
Yep. And my roommate, or whatever you want to call him, because we had our own rooms. My roommate was a prior, and he helped me tremendously, because I didn't know anything about the military. I mean, years later, I learned about the military, but he helped me out quite a bit. Just having like all those rules, like folding your bed, keeping the keeping every. I mean, it wasn't like he just taught me all the little tips and tricks. Like, here's how you stay out of trouble.
That's right.
It does. It does. I've seen a lot of people I went to school with, and they were, teenager and all that, getting in trouble. They went to the military, completely changed their life, completely 180 from what they were. It was a good thing for them.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm just looking. There was a shooting of a woman, and they released the body cam footage, and they arrested the deputy for the shooting.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, instantly
Where at?
arrested.
Where at?
I'm trying to get that information. It just says body cam video released of woman killed by police after calling 911. Sonia Massey, the family of Sonia Massey.
Wow.
It's on Communist News Network right now.
Oh, okay. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, I was up there. I keep news, couple of different channels going simultaneously there.
Mhm.
But yeah, listen, it's time. And I thought I segued this for you appropriately there, country.
Yes.
As we began this wrap up in the last 9 minutes.
Yes. Thank you.
So as I was saying before, it's time for us to start electing people the way we're supposed to. We are not supposed to be electing people based on a popularity contest. We need to start fighting for our rights, not our civil rights, our rights, our God-given rights, the rights that the Constitution guarantee us. It's time for us to start electing leaders that represent us and are there for us in our hometowns, in our cities, on our streets, eating in the restaurants that we eat in. It's time to stop playing favorites and just electing a familiar name on a ballot. And so I will do it again officially here for the second time in the last 5 days. As of election night 2024, I will be officially running for the 50th district in downtown San Diego, California for the office of Congress for the House. And I will be running all of 2024 and 2025 to hopefully get that seat and turn it green again as it was once before. So yes, I'm throwing my hat in the ring for the office of Congressman.
So
and
proud.
Nico, you're running as Republican, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. I mean, I knew you were.
Listen,
I knew you
and
were.
this is the thing. Hey,
we talked before. We
Yeah.
talked before. I shared your profile just so you know. I don't know if they're in 50 or not because I don't know how exactly. But I shared your profile with just your TikTok profile. Hopefully that was
appreciate
okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Who live in San Diego, and I said, hey, if you're in 50, this guy's running. So I'm
And here's the
already
thing.
spreading the word.
I appreciate it. And here's the thing. I'm not cleaning up my TikTok. I curse. I don't drink except when I'm really, really stressed. I am a cannabis proponent. I believe that cannabis is a necessity now. We have too many people that are hooked on opioids, and there has to be a safer, healthier alternative. Cannabis is one of them. It is not the only one, but it's one that I know works firsthand because of my daughter, who's no longer with us, but was able to have her pain eased because of cannabis. I believe that we need to secure our borders. I believe that we need a 3-tiered tax system. I believe we need to deport anybody that is in this country unlawfully and have that country truly pay for it, whether it be that they send us a check or we stop giving them aid. There's a lot of things that I believe in, and over the next 30 days, you're going to see 10 different speeches that I prepared, talking about my entire platform as a congressman. So the objective is by 2026, I will be in Congress. And hopefully by 2030, I can run to be the president of your United States.
I would love that.
Wow, that's awesome, man. And dude, sorry to hear about your daughter, whatever happened.
My daughter had a very aggressive form of lupus called lupus nephritis. By the time she was diagnosed at 13, by the time she was 21 and when she passed, she had already had a pulmonary embolism, an enlarged heart, renal failure, water on the lungs, water on the heart, along with a myriad of other things that ailed her. She did survive She was survived by my granddaughter, who is now 7 years old. But the problem is now I have to worry about her possibly having it, because if one of the parents has it, it passed, and they unfortunately passed from that, the child now has a 50-50 chance of having it. So it's in the autoimmune spectrum. So my granddaughter is getting the best care that money can possibly buy because she is the daughter of a veteran. And though I don't agree with everything that the VA system is right now, when they do provide the service, it is the best service you could possibly receive.
My father.
That is hard to hear. And hearing that story, you mentioned you pray at night, you pray in the morning when you get up. I am just so thankful to God for my kids' health,
Absolutely.
And I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just thankful that I don't have to share a story like you have, or you know what I mean? So,
the statement of no parent should ever bury their child is a very true and a very valid statement. I don't feel I don't question God in his wisdom and what it is that he needs to do, but it is a pain that I wish on no parent anywhere. So hug your kids, kiss them goodnight, love on them, dote on them, spoil them even. You know what I mean? You only get a chance to enjoy them when they're little like that for a little bit of time. Because once they're older, they're adults. They're going to be the same way for the rest of their lives.
You're absolutely right, Nico. Man, guys, it's been a pleasure having you guys on here tonight. It's been an awesome show. And everyone in the comments on YouTube and on X, thank you so much for joining in with us. That will be the end of our show tonight. You guys hang on when I do towards the end, and then I'll let go. And Nico, this is one of his shirts that he makes as well. Guardians.
So that's right. Remember, we are the guardians of this constitutional republic. Why does it keep going sideways on me?
It's you got to turn your rotation off. I meant to tell you that. If you turn the rotation off.
So we are the guardians of this republic. So I have a clothing line, and Country's going to get a couple of items over this next week for her to wear. And we also have a commercial that's going to be coming out. We are the guardians of this constitutional republic. GOTRclothing.com. You can go online and purchase shirts. There is a 10% off discount for anybody that writes in the name Country Crazy. Country space crazy. You will get 10% off everything in the store. There is one shirt that is not available. You must purchase a shirt to get that shirt, and that is the Libertarian Republican shirt, which is not available. Wait, but I will show you what it looks like. Because
he'll tease you. He's going to tease you.
Do I have it? Nope, I don't have it. I wore it. But that's all right. You'll see it. You'll see it on the site. You'll go check it out. Again, any support is appreciated. I'm doing it as a labor of love. And the next shirt that will be coming out next week is the Not on Our Watch shirt. It is a labor of love. It is something to let the world know that we are not going to allow this madness to continue while we, Gen X, represent this country in any form or fashion. So
yeah, you know what, bro? I mean, I've been Trump since Trump was elected, since he came down that escalator. But with what happened to him on Saturday, I don't know how the best way to use it or describe it. That threw me over the edge, if you will, and not like in a crazy way. I mean, I was like, "That's it. I am done with Democrats."
Well, it just puts you in a different mindset.
I'm done with this. And when my sons saw it, I mean, because my kids, they're happy and healthy. They got pretty good life, and for them to have to see that, I was raging. And does that make sense?
It does.
I mean, I was really upset to see my kids hurt like that because I don't hurt them, and, I mean, they're kids, they get hurt, if they're riding their dirt bike or whatever, they're playing baseball, but
that was an emotional hurt. That wasn't a physical hurt.
Right.
And that's the thing that we as parents want to protect our children from.
Right. Absolutely. And Devil Dog, my prayers to you, sir. I saw what you said about your 5-year-old. Sorry, Country. I didn't mean to go on.
Go ahead. No. You're fine. You're fine. You are absolutely fine. I was saying, I was agreeing with you. But you guys, this is Devil Dogs. It's DA Customs. Go get this hat.
I think it's time to fight back. No, they won't like that. Everywhere is somewhere, and that's where the fight's at. I think it's time to fight back. No, they won't like
Vote felon
Okay.
2024.
So that's Nico? That's Nico?
No, that's Devil
No,
Dog. That's Devil Dog.
My light
that's
just went
Devil
out.
Dog. Okay, that's right. That's right.
That's here. That's
there you go.
Okay,
Go
got it.
to
Listen.
www.dacustoms.com. You can also call 781-389-8179 and get. He has he does leather, he does wallets, he does so much, veteran owned and operated as well.
There you go.
And we have some merch coming out this week.
Yeah, I'm gonna get something for
Stay
myself,
tuned.
both my kids and my father. Because
we've got.
my dad's a
I'm
vet,
gonna get some
I'm a
stuff from
vet,
Devil Dog.
and my kids just they're my kids.
Yeah, I'm gonna get some stuff from you, Devil Dog, and I'll even shoot you an email. You and I should collabo because I've got a great graphic artist and he does amazing work.
Oh, yes, I think you guys should hook up. I think you should. I think you really
take
should.
a look. Take a look. It's GOTR, Guardians of the Republic, GOTRclothing.com.
And Nico, I got you too, man. I got you too.
Got you, Gravel. I got you, Gravel.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. So with that, everyone have a safe. My light went out. It's plugged into my laptop. I have a crappy ring light, so we're in the dark together, everybody.
Are you going on TikTok tonight, country? Are you
Probably
doing TikTok?
not, because I have to get up. It's 11 through the week. I try to go live before the show, and then afterwards, because if I go live at night, I'm stuck on there. I'm not stuck, but I am on there, and I have to sleep. If I don't, I'm going to be falling asleep at work. Then I won't have a job, and it's just
Hey, don't worry. I'm gonna get some. I'm gonna catch some crap for a couple days. I did fall asleep on my own live last night, so I'll hear about it for a couple days, and then something big will happen, and nobody will care.
Exactly.
Let me go ahead.
Yes, the Country Crazy shirt is coming up. You guys are going to love it. You're going to love it. But you guys stay tuned. But have a good Tuesday, guys, and keep your head on a swivel. And know at the end of the day that truly God is in control of all things. Put our faith and trust in Him, and the rest will fall into place. And with that,
stick together. We have got to stick together.
absolutely stick together. And with that, Country Crazy out.